Welcome! Today we're going to make the Pebble Beanie. This beanie has been designed in two different formats. You can make the double thickness one with no brim, or you can make the brimmed beanie. You also have options. We'll have a double brim option or a single brim option. But either way, we're going to start this pattern with a worsted 4-weight yarn and a 5.5mm hook. You'll chain the number of stitches listed in the pattern if you would like a double thickness brim. If you prefer a single thickness brim, cut that number of stitches in half, otherwise the brim will be obnoxiously large. We will half double crochet in the back loop only, all the way across that chain, and chain 1, turn, half double crochet in the back loop only. This back loop process helps us get that nice defined ridge in our stitches, which makes it look kind of like the knit one purl one ribbing you see in knitted hats. Continue crocheting rows of half double crochet in the back loop only until your hat band, the brim of your hat, is roughly the circumference of your head. You can either measure beforehand, hold it up to your head, or follow the free sizing chart that's listed on my website. You'll find it linked below, so you have easy access to that. Make sure you have an even number of rows, then hold the two short ends together and slip stitch those together so that you have a nice ring to be the brim of your hat. Regardless of which version of the brim you are going to make, at this point we'll turn your work so that the ridge we created with this seam is on the inside. You don't want that showing on the outside of the hat. If you want to make a single thickness brim like you see now, start crocheting your hat along the edges of the brim right away. You don't have to make any more steps. If you want the double thickness brim, we're going to get started on that. One of the benefits of the double thickness brim is it's a little bit warmer if you live in a very cold climate, and also it holds its shape much better than a single thickness brim. To form the double thickness brim, you will fold the two long ends together of the brim and single crochet in the edges all the way around. You'll see here on the left side I've already single crocheted, and I'm folding it up and single crocheting it together as I go. After you complete your single crochet round, you'll join the single crochet with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, chain 1, and we'll begin the textured stitch. You'll skip the first stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and then double crochet in the stitch that was skipped, and continue working around, and this creates a lovely ripple effect. When you reach the end of the row, do not join with a slip stitch. Just continue working this same series of stitches. Skip 1, single crochet, double crochet in the skipped stitch, and you'll continue working that in a spiral until the hat is the size that you need it to be. Please make sure that you do not work into the slip stitch from your single crochet row. The yarn I'm using in this project is the Wander yarn from Furls Crochet. It is a 100% acrylic yarn. I found it to be very soft and lovely to work with. I think it's definitely better for small scale projects than large scale because it is so soft it would pill with continued use. Of course, I'm using my Furls Odyssey. If you've been around for long, you know this is my favorite hook. You can find a link in the description below for where you could purchase these materials if you want to use the same ones. The second style of the Pebbles Beanie is a double hat. So you simply make a foundation single crochet row that is a little bit wider than the circumference of your head, and join it with a slip stitch, and then continue working just like we did the first couple of rows up the main style or the other style of hat. And we'll keep working that pebble stitch around in a spiral. You'll want to work until the tube is twice as long as the size you need. So if you need 18 inches tall, that seems really big. Like if you need 7 inches or 8 inches tall, you want it to be twice that, because we will be folding the hat. When finishing off your hat, you'll want to make sure you leave a very long tail, because we'll be using that to seam up the hat. And you'll also need to have left a long tail at the beginning. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but now you know. To be fair, I didn't leave a long tail at the beginning and had to just pick up an extra end and figure it out. So, you know, it can work either way. I like using these little crooked tapestry needles when I'm weaving in ends of my yarn. I don't know why, but I find them very easy to use. Of course, any yarn needle will work, but what you're going to do at this point is take that long tail and weave it, do a running stitch but in and out of every stitch along the top of your hat, and then pull it tight. Now make sure not to pull it all the way tight, because you're going to finish that part up later. But we're going to repeat the same process on the bottom of the hat. So we'll have cinched up both ends and they'll look pretty much the same. Once both ends are loosely cinched together, we're going to fold the hat inside itself so that the two cinched ends are tucked inside each other. Now pull both ends tight so that they are securely cinched, and I like to tie the two tails together securely so that they're not going anywhere, and then weave the ends through the two portions of the hat. You have the outer and the inner portion at this point, and you want to tuck your ends through there. I'll take a moment to draw attention to my mug. The llama made me do it. You can find cute mugs like this, stickers, and other fun stuff in my Etsy shop. We sell cute stuff designed by my sister and I in our Etsy shop for crocheters like you. And I hope it brings you a smile. Let's pick a Pom Pom for this beanie. I buy a lot of these Pom Poms on Amazon. They're a very inexpensive way to get them. However, I have noticed that the Pom Poms you get in bulk on Amazon are not as full or as fluffy as the ones you get from the handmade seller. So I do recommend supporting a handmade artisan whenever possible. But these are what I have. I've already spent money on them, so we'll use these. These all have an elastic loop, and I'll show you how I use that to make the pom-poms removable in case the hat needs to be washed. To attach the pom-pom to your beanie, first you're going to turn it inside out. Then we're going to sew a button to the very top center of the hat. I have these bamboo buttons that I bought in bulk on Amazon. I've used them for many things. These work very well for these pom-poms. They're just the right size. You can't feel them at all when you're wearing the hat. It's very inconspicuous, but it also keeps the pom-pom on your beanie very securely. But it also gives you the option to remove it because these faux fur pom-poms will melt and be damaged if you put them through the washer and dryer. Once your button is securely sewn on, turn the hat right side out. I use a small crochet hook, like one I'd use for lace, like a 1.5 millimeter, but it doesn't have to be any particular size, just one that's small enough, and reach it through the center of both of the cinched up portions of the hat. Grab your elastic loop and then pull it through the hat and loop it over the button. Here's the finished beanie. I hope you enjoyed making it. The pattern is listed for free on my blog, or you could find the principal in my pattern shop on Etsy or Ravelry. I hope you join me again next week for more crochet fun.